Okay, Act 4, Scene 6, we're coming to the conclusion of Act 4. Again, Edgar is in disguise. He's leading Gloucester to his wanted suicide. He wants to go to the top of the cliffs of Dover um, to jump because he believes, why shall I live if I have betrayed my true loyal son, which is Edgar? So, again, we talked about irony, dramatic irony. He feels guilty for the betrayal he did against Edgar. And the irony here is that poor Tom is Edgar. And I know there was some confusion before. Some people thought poor Tom and Edgar were two different people. Poor Tom is Edgar. Poor Tom is his disguise. So don't get those two people confused. So Edgar has to think quickly on his feet here. He is going to lead Gloucester to this hill. So instead of leading him to a cliff, he leads him to just a small little hill. So think, here's the hill, here's the flat land. And he tells him, oh, here we go. Here's the cliff. So they're sitting on top of this hill. And he tells him, go ahead, jump. And when he jumps, he just hits flat on the ground and passes out. Okay. So as he passes out, he kind of tells him, uh, "This is fate. This is what the gods have been telling you. Um, if if this is my fate," or Edgar kind of explains to him, this has been your fate, that you shouldn't have died. Essentially, it's a miracle. Life was a miracle, speak again. And he says, but I have fallen or not. From dread a summit of this chalky bourne, look up a height, the shrill gorged lark so far cannot be seen or heard. Do but look up. So basically, he's saying, you did fall from this terrifying cliff. Look up if you can. There is a cliff there. But since essentially he's showing him that he is in control, and that the mighty gods have said, you shall live. Um, and Edgar will lead him and reassure him that this is fate, that he shall live. And then Lear is going to enter the scene, and we still see Lear being mad. He kind of shows up, and I add some pictures here so you can see he's just falls right in front of him. Lear enters like dressed, adorned in these flowers, and he's still mad. He's talking all this craziness about mice and um, his daughters and all this craziness. So, still a little mad, despite the doctor looking at him. Remember, the doctor said there's no medicine that can fix him, but his daughter still loves him. Okay. Also, big point in this scene. Oswald is going to enter. Oswald, remember, doesn't get along with anyone. He doesn't get along with Kent, Lear. So in turn, Gloucester not going to get along with him. Edgar not going to get along with him. Oswald enters the scene. He does have a letter from Goneril. Remember, and that we learned that in Act Scene 3, 4, and 5, I believe, or Act 4, Scenes 3 and 4 and 5. Edgar and Oswald are going to fight, and in turn, he stabs Oswald. When he stabs Oswald, because Oswald was going to return Regan's favor. Because remember, before Regan kind of says, oh, I wish I would have just murdered Gloucester. Instead of blinding him, I wish I would have murdered him. So Oswald's out to murder Gloucester. He says, oh, well, I also have this letter from Goneril. And I'm going to go back to this love triangle here. So here's our letter, okay? And let's see if I can, my recording's going to end. He has this letter, Goneril to Edmund. She has a plan to murder Albany because she wants to be with Edmund. Because remember, Regan is now a widow because Cornwall has died. So this love triangle still going on, okay? So Oswald has died, okay? So just keep that in mind as we conclude this. And Edgar is going to take Gloucester somewhere safe, okay? So he can go find Edmund and fight him.